Welcome back, dear friends, to another episode of Real Conversations and Meditations. Today, we're going to explore a skill that is as vital in the boardroom, in the bedroom, in meetings, in customer interactions, as it is at the dinner table at home. This skill is as essential in leadership as it is in love. And the reason I call it a skill is that it can be practiced, developed, expanded, and applied whenever and wherever you are. We naturally have this skill from birth, and it is even a survival mechanism. That skill is called listening. And with listening, I not only mean hearing, as you can listen even without sound or hearing. Today, though, I will focus mostly on the hearing part of listening. As a musician and a professional violinist and former player in the Oslo Philharmonic myself, I also like to use the metaphor of an orchestra and how musicians tune into one another to create a world-class performance. So think of an orchestra. Violins, cellos, flutes, percussion, the list goes on. No matter how talented each musician is, the magic only happens when they listen deeply to one another with all their senses. The same is true in life, at work, at home, and within ourselves. Listening is the key to harmony. Before this episode, I could feel I had a bit of nerves and was sort of trying to find my voice, and I could feel my heart was sort of rushing a bit when I pressed record the first time. So I decided to actually take some of my tips myself, and I listened. And I listened to my heart and other stuff. And I'd like you to stay with me now, and I'll also show you here how I tuned into myself. Okay. So in this episode, we'll look at 3 ways to deepen our listening. 1, we'll look at the workplace. 2, we'll look at how to use it at home with our loved ones or with friends. And 3, within the world around you through a short and calming listening meditation. So, tip 1, listening at work and the pause between the notes. Have you ever noticed in a meeting that people are often preparing their response while someone else is speaking? I feel you can actually see it in their body language as well, and in their eyes, where somehow their eyes glaze off into some other thought while you're speaking. Doesn't feel very nice either. So it's like a violinist rehearsing their solo while the brass section is still playing loud. You can't hear it, and beautiful music gets lost. Here is a sample practice, a very simple practice. Before you reply, pause. So take 1 conscious breath. Allow the other person's words to settle, like the finale note of a piano chord just ebbing out, resonating before the next begins. And this pause is powerful. It does communicate respect, it builds trust, and it helps you respond with clarity instead of noise. And what happens actually when we ourselves take the tempo down a bit when people are talking, so you listen better, is that everyone gets calmer. It affects everybody around the table. So it's pretty strong technique actually, but you need to try it sometimes out, because maybe in beginning you will feel that no one hears you. So you will find your pace and your voice in this new way of listening, and also a new way of being heard. So just a reflective question. In your last conversation at work, did you truly hear, let's say, the whole orchestra, or did you just wait for your turn to play? And it's also good to reflect a bit on what kind of type of listener you are in the workplace, so you can get to know yourself better. So let's go into tip 2, listening at home, more of hearing the rhythm of emotion. So at home, your loved ones often speak more in rhythm than in words. So my suggestion is that you more listen to what's behind the words. If you had children, your child may stomp around with fast, restless beats, like a bit of anxiety or restlessness. Or your partner may speak slowly and heavily, like deep drum, like symbolizing sadness or exhaustion. When you listen, don't just take in the words. Tune in to the tempo, like the tempo of the words or the tempo behind the words. Meet them where they are, as if you're joining a rhythm already that is inside of them in motion. And only then you can gently guide them back into harmony. So tuning into their rhythm, and from there you find wisdom to tune them back into harmony. Try it out. Or then reflect the question with your partner or children or family, friends. Are you trying to force them into your tempo, or are you listening first to the beat of their hearts? Tip 3, listening to the world. A short, calming meditation. Now, let's practice listening in its purest form. You don't need words. You don't need even solutions, just presence. Close your eyes if you can. If you're walking, just simply soften your gaze. Feel your eyes relaxing. And the point between your eyes relaxing. Feel the skin in your face is relaxing. Your shoulders are relaxing. And you connect to your breath. So take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Once more, take a breath in and out, slow pace. Now, bring your attention to the sounds around you. If you're wearing a headset, just try to listen if there are some sounds outside of your own little world. Notice the closest sounds, maybe your own breath. Then notice a sound a little further away, perhaps a clock or the hum of a fridge or some distant traffic. Just see what comes in. And then try to stretch your ears even further. Can you hear the furthest sound? A bird outside, some rustling outside or inside. Maybe even hear a small fly I have in my office here. Couldn't get it out before my recording, so I thought it would create some ambience. So just see if you can go to the breath and then expand, listening further away. So let yourself just rest in this orchestra of life. All the sounds have their own function and meaning. Every sound belongs somewhere, every note is part of the music. So embrace every small note, every small sound. Maybe you even hear your heart beating, or imagine you hear your heart beating. That is super calming to tune into your heart and imagine it beating. That was what I was doing before this episode today. I could listen to my heart, every heartbeat. So notice how listening shifts your body. Do you feel a little more spacious, calmer, more relaxed? So this is the power of tuning in. Take one last deep breath and open your eyes gently. So this simple meditation to tune into the sounds inside you, around you, and far away from you can be done anywhere, before a meeting or after a heated conversation or argument, before going to work, before coming home, to tune into any aspects of your life, or just to reset your day. So, I want to end with saying that listening, it's not passive, it's an active, alive, like tuning into a violin string until it resonates in harmony with the rest of the orchestra. So it's even, you can visualize a string or a cello string and see it resonates within the whole surrounding around you. At work, it builds trust. At home, it creates connection. In silence, it brings us back to our own inner conductor. And transformation begins with clarity and purpose, and clarity is born in listening. So I leave you with this question: whose music in your life deserves to be heard more deeply this week? Thank you for joining me, and until next time, may your life be in tune, in harmony, and in flow. And don't hesitate to contact me, aya@ayahum.com. Ask me if you have any questions, if you want to talk to me as a coach, help you with your listening skills even, or create some meditations together, or just some clarity in your life. That would be my honor. So with that, I wish you a beautiful day and week. Bye bye.